Welcome everyone to Monday Morning Morons for September 10th, 2018. My apologies for no video last week. Well, Bob, why don't you tell them? Oh, that's right. You can't. Bob here did something stupid again, and now he can't talk. Best he can muster is a few garbled sounds. Was another accident, but frankly, I wish I'd thought of this before. It's much more peaceful around here now. Anyway, let's begin with affirmative action this week. Affirmative action strengthens a meritocracy. In the words of Ranting Monkey, that's fucking stupid. Women, the disabled, and racial and religious minorities are still underrepresented in Western democracies. After decades of talking about the importance of opportunity for all, men and Caucasians still dominate the best universities, boards of the largest companies, the legal profession, the media, and politics. Men are significantly more likely than women to occupy senior management roles in a company. In Britain, only 6.3% of trustees in the largest charities are from Black, Asian, or minority ethnic backgrounds. Students who qualify for free school meals are significantly underrepresented in Britain's top academic institutions. You mean minorities are minorities in college, company boards, etc.? Gee, who'd have thunk it? Seriously though, what is it with you people and representation anyway? Why do you assume that just because black people make up 13% of the US population, they will make up 13% of everything everywhere? Or women will magically make up 51% of everything because they are 51% of the population? Are you people at all familiar with a concept called free will? I know. It's one of those evil Western ideas. But just because a certain type of person isn't doing the job you want them to do, doesn't mean the whole fucking world is discriminating against them. Maybe they just don't fucking want to do it. Has that ever occurred to you? I'm going to skip a bit here because you're already getting on my nerves. For those who want to read it, link is in the description as usual, but for reference, he's going to lay out why affirmative action is good for everyone and, as usual, completely ignore the fact that it is institutionalized discrimination based on race, sex, religion, ethnicity, etc. You know, that thing that is illegal to do anywhere else. First, affirmative action actually strengthens an organization's claim to be meritocratic. The status quo already favors certain people. The structural barriers that were erected against marginalized groups such as not being able to vote, work in many professions, or enter university have contributed to the inequality that we see today. The philosophy underpinning a sensible affirmative action policy should be that of restorative justice. Except that the structural barriers you're referring to were removed decades ago. So you're trying to correct a problem that's already been fixed. And who are you fixing this problem for? The people who suffered under such rules? No. You're trying to fix it for people who weren't even alive then by punishing other people who weren't even alive then. Look, you were not a slave. I was not a slave owner. Therefore, I don't owe you a damn thing. You have all the same rights and opportunities that I do. In fact, because of affirmative action, you already have more and better opportunities than I do under the law. Yet somehow, I'm the privileged one? Tell me another one, spin doctor. The second argument is expediency. Affirmative action is not always necessary or the best way to achieve equal representation. However, it is the quickest. Alternative strategies can take years and even decades to create institutions that truly reflect the societies they serve. It is unfair to tell those who have already faced discrimination that they have to wait longer until they can finally have an equal shot at success. At Oxford University, the number of successful applicants identifying as black has risen from 1.1% in 2013 to 1.9% in 2017. That is commendable progress, but it is shocking that 1 in 3 Oxford colleges failed to admit a single black British A-level student in 2015. Affirmative action could be a speedier remedy. Okay, I don't know shit about Oxford's admissions screening or process, so I won't comment on that. But I will point out that even you just admitted that affirmative action isn't always needed or the best solution. Yet you want to rush right on in there and do it anyway because it's fast. Well, super genius, so is a nuclear missile. Doesn't mean we just launch them because it's the fastest way to deal with a shitty dictator. If the fastest solution is shit, maybe we just shouldn't do it, huh? What about the argument that affirmative action reduces quality? The evidence doesn't support this. The work of Mary Nugent and Mona Lena Crook found that rather than diminishing the quality of the intake of politicians in Britain, the Labour Party's all-women shortlist have led to the selection of high-caliber candidates who are much more engaged, for instance, by asking more parliamentary questions than their non-AWS colleagues. I'd like to see this so-called work because either you're misrepresenting it or it's fucking stupid. If the measure of success is simply asking questions, then the most successful people on earth are 5-year-old kids. Those fuckers question everything. Don't touch that. Why? Because it's hot and you'll burn yourself. Why? Because it's been sitting on a flame for the last 20 minutes. Why? So I can cook your food. Why? So you can eat it. Why? So you won't die. Why? Gah! Yesterday you were eating your own boogers and now you want to know the meaning of the world? Fuck off, baby Buddha. Seriously, my man. I hope you got better measure of success than that. Another common argument against quotas is that they are patronizing to the very groups they aim to help. Again, if affirmative action is framed as a push toward a more meritocratic playing field rather than a leg up above it, it needn't cause resentment and feelings of belittlement. Of course, there might be circumstances where there is almost unanimous agreement among a group of potential beneficiaries that affirmative action policy would do them a disservice. In that situation, a different type of policy might be preferable. If it's framed as. Look, genius, you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't change what it actually is. What's that famous quote? A rose by any other name still smells the same, or something like that. You can tell everyone that this is a diamond if you like. It doesn't mean it is one. Affirmation policies are never perfect, but then again, few policies are. In the absence of an effective intervention that could yield results quickly, it would be foolish to dismiss affirmative action because it runs counter to the idea of meritocracy. That argument is flawed. These policies can enhance meritocracy by allowing talented people from disadvantaged backgrounds to have an equal shot at success. No. No, 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 no. Do you even know what meritocracy is? Because you talk like it's just another idea that values different skin tones than you do. It doesn't. Meritocracy means we do not give a fuck what color you are or what genitals you have. Can you do the job? Yes? You're hired. Congratulations. End of story. What you're arguing for is the opposite. Are you a black woman? No? Sorry, can't hire you. Gotta get my diversity quota. That is institutionalized racism and sexism, you fucking idiot. That is exactly the kind of shit we're trying not to do. Let me tell you a little story about high school to illustrate what I mean. When I went to high school, I took a class called Building Trades. In this class, the students compose a construction crew. We go out and actually build a house. Great class, by the way, really enjoyed it. Learned a lot about how and why things are built the way they are. Anyway, because this is a job site, there are a limited number of students allowed to take the class each year, and everyone who applies must interview with the teacher, pretty much like a job interview. The teacher then selects 20 students from the pool, 10 for the morning crew, 10 for the afternoon crew. Now, the teacher was being accused of sexism because he had never had a single female in his class. Why? Simple answer. He had never had a female sign up for the class. Kind of hard to pick one if none want to take the class, huh? Is that sexism? No, that's free will. That finally changed in my senior year. I took the class a second time because I liked it. One girl applied, she was accepted, and put on the afternoon crew. Now, let's put that in numbers to show how numbers don't tell the whole story. That's a 5% representation of women in the class. Oh my God, misogyny! That's also 100% acceptance rate for girls. Oh my God, misandry! See, I can take those numbers and spin them whichever way I like, but the truth is, it was neither. Someone like you, though, you're only seeing what you want to see. Oh my God, there's only one black person on that board of 10 directors. Racism! Blacks are only 13% of the U.S. population, so even by your representation horseshit, 1 out of 10 is appropriate, isn't it? Or do we have to find someone who's 30% black just to get that extra 3% in there? Moving on. Since the anniversary of 9/11 is, well, tomorrow, I thought I should remind you all that you shouldn't remember it at all. Block it out from your memory altogether because Islamophobia, of course. College deems 9/11 Never Forget posters bias incident for highlighting Islamic terrorism. A group of conservative students at Ripon College have been told their 9/11 Never Forget posters violate the school's bias policy, citing the fact that its imagery is exclusively focused on Islamic terrorism. At a meeting Tuesday between members of the Young Americans Foundation and the campus bias response team, a school official said the posters focus relentlessly on one religious organization, one religious group, one religious identity, in associating that one religious identity with terrorist attacks which go back far before 9/11 and after 9/11 creates for some students here an environment which they feel like they are not able to learn, according to an audio recording of the meeting obtained by YAF. That's right. A poster to remind us of a terrorist act exclusively committed by Islamic extremists should mention other extremists because, well, something diversity and reasons. Did it ever occur to you, jackasses, that the reason the poster appears biased is because the perpetrators of these crimes were all simply Muslims? Nah, of course not. There was a white guy somewhere who did something bad, and that's not on the poster. So, racism, Islamophobia, my white supremacy. Get a life, you fucking idiots. Criminal and terrorist white dudes don't negate the fact that these terrorists were Muslims, does it? It doesn't change the fact that these Muslims committed these crimes, does it? Does the poster say, hate all Muslims or something? No. Does the poster say, only Muslims do this kind of violent shit? No. You brought that perspective with you. The poster didn't say that. So who's really the racist Islamophobe here? All right, Bob. No more patience for this nonsense. Toxic masculinity time. I hit your father with a baseball bat and he's dead, woman told Son. A Pennsylvania man concerned when his mother didn't show up for work Thursday received some bad news when he arrived at his parents' home, according to reports. His 63-year-old mother wouldn't let him inside, and then she told him what happened. I hit your father with a baseball bat and he's dead, she said. The son immediately called the police. When officers arrived, Deborah Ann Stevens of York Springs told them she killed her husband the night before. Now she's facing homicide charge, the station reported. According to the report, investigators confirmed that state police had been called to the home twice last month, on August 21st and August 28th, on reports of domestic violence. The first incident involved a woman hitting her husband with a TV remote, the report said. Details on the second incident were not available. On Thursday, the body of James Stevens, 65, showed bruises consistent with being struck with a baseball bat, the report said. The woman was later examined at a hospital where she was found to have self-inflicted wounds on both wrists. She was later taken to Adams County Prison in Gettysburg. Okay, so let's see. 2 prior complaints of a woman beating her husband, then she admits to bashing his brains in with a baseball bat, and didn't even bother to report it until her son came over to check on her because she didn't go to work. Well, shit. I don't think I need to say anything at all here. I think you can all see just how toxic these men are, right? That poor, poor woman. Give us a laugh, Bob. Professor touts ecosexuality as environmental activist strategy. At St. Mary's College of Maryland, professor argues in a recent academic journal article that the ecosexuality movement can give environmentalism broader appeal by circumventing the usual moralistic rhetoric. Lauren Whitworth explains that ecosexuality uses the notion of romantic relationships with natural objects like trees as a way of shocking people into abandoning anthropocentric approaches to environmentalism. Okay, so yeah, I can't even be a snarky cunt here without laughing my ass off, but let me try. So you're avoiding this so-called moralistic rhetoric by fucking trees, right? Well, allow me to inject a little moral question for you then. A very important question, too. One you progressive feminist activists types have been harping on for years now. Did that tree consent? Because if it did not give verbal and ongoing consent by your own rules, you are raping that tree. Oh, good grief. When you're trying to drum up support by telling people to masturbate on trees, you might just be a little off your rocker there, Lauren. That's it for this week, folks. Remember the social justice mantra: women are victims, men are oppressors, and feminism is just about equality. I'll see you all next time.